Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. We don't take it for granted. As Moses had said, I'll not repeat so much introducing PropTech, but I'll talk about Brawl. We cannot talk about Brawl Online before I talk about Brawl as a real estate consortium. So Brawl is almost half a century. That's like 48 years, because Brawl was incorporated in 1975 rather, in South Africa, and we've come a long way. So in terms of technology, if somebody has got like 45 years, then that's somebody that you need to trust. Yeah. So as a Pan-African real estate company, Brawl Online is very much unrivaled. Right from the time when you bring in a tenant on board, you must put in systems in place just to ensure that the right checks and balances are done in terms of documentation, just to ensure that you don't get the nitty-gritties, because you don't want to bring in a tenant that will bring you issues in the near future. So in terms of lease tracking, many landlords normally forget when the leases are expiring, or even on escalations, they do forget. But in Brawl Online is able to give you that comfort while you concentrate on other things. In terms of the tenant modules, in terms of viewership, that's also very critical, because you can be given an access login so that you're able to get your statements, you're able to get your invoices even online, and you're also able to query in terms of work orders. Let me give you an example of a residential dwelling where you go back to your humble abode and you find that maybe a tap is leaking. Instead of calling the caretaker or the handyman, what's important is that you just go into the system, you log in, then you post a work order, then you wait for that to be attended. Because even from so long as you have an Android phone, you are able to link with the caretakers or the handyman and ensure that the work is done in the shortest lead time. So from our side, how we monitor is that it keeps the stakeholders in check in terms of property management, in that they'll be able to attend to you, and if they don't attend on time, then the system will flag the supervisor. So apart from that also, allow me also to talk about the supply module. So in the supply module, there are also checks and balances that ensures that the supplier is vetted to the core. So in terms of loading that supplier, doing the checks, for example in Kenya, ensuring that they're tax compliant, they have the TCC, they have necessary registration documents, and in terms of even accounting, that they take into consideration that you're not dealing with a company that is almost going under. So that is very, very critical. In terms of the LPOs, loading the same on the portal, in terms of budgeting. So it's a 360 degrees solution that leaves the investor to sleep, knowing that his investment is protected jealously. So in terms of the investor also, the investor can be given access login just to view. So the issue of reports, looking at where we come from, the dinosaur stage where reports were in Excel and all that, with Brawl Online system, you will not have that, because you as a landlord, you're able to get instant report from the back end, so long as you've been given access logins. So if you go to www.brol.com, you'll be able to get our details so that we can push this further and ensure that you get the best returns on your investment. So at this stage, maybe I'll invite any questions from the audience so that we may be able to interact further. Yes, yes.
Thank you for your remarks, and Brol has a wonderful reputation in globally. Where do you see your own firm's investment in technology to increase your efficiency or revenue in the upcoming, let's say, 24 to 36 months?
That is in relation to Brol or generally?
Yeah, both sounds good.
Yeah, the beauty about Brol is that our system is homegrown, and we have a team of developers that work day and night just to ensure that we give unrivaled services to our clients. So in terms of where we see ourselves, we are looking at a scenario whereby we'll have the tech take almost 90% of property management, leaving the physical bit having just a morsel of interaction. But that doesn't mean that the normal inspections will not happen. Because if you look at the PPM schedules that our facility management departments normally interact with, the same PPM schedules are also loaded on the system just to ensure that all the stakeholders, as far as property management is concerned, are abreast with what is happening. So the technology will not replace the physical interaction, but just to enhance the same. But I'm seeing a situation whereby as a group, we'll make this a very important aspect in terms of the percentage increase, thereby ensuring that the properties take 90% in terms of technology, with only 10% being the physical. Yeah. Next question. Okay, thank you guys very much for giving us your ears, and we look forward to partnering with you to ensure that you get the best returns for your investment. Thank you.